If you spend a lot of time looking at my videos, which most people have not, but if you do, you will find that most of what I talk about is politics, religion, particularly Christianity most of the time, philosophy, and actually one of the more important things, culture. And then I tend to try and do things that are timeless in nature. But every once in a while, I stray off the beaten path and I do a video that is on autism. Sometimes I'll do some other things, but it's not very common. Most of the time you're going to find that it's one of the primary things that I've told you at the beginning of this video. But on today's Daily Summation, I wanted to do a subject video in which I titled, basically, By Your Rules, for the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm Kurt, I'm your host, and today is Friday the 28th of May of 2021. Welcome to everybody who's here on Rumble on the podcast, on YouTube. Remember, Rumble is my primary go-to place that I would prefer people view me, but you know, wherever you happen to view me from, you view me from. Again, the subject today is By Your Rules. And I wanted to talk about some realities regarding autism, and particularly with regard to my child where autism is concerned. But I think it's a generic thing that you should be aware is true. And by the way, it's kind of particularly apropos that I'm talking about autism today because my son is home and you may hear him in the background a little bit trying to talk to me about various things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read my notes, as I often do, and then we're going to move on from there. So you may think it's reasonable to expect my child to, quote, live by your rules, or the, quote, rules of your child. Let me make it plain. If you think that, you can pretty much be assured you will fail in having much of a relationship with him. You just need to know that. By the way, there he goes in the background in case you didn't hear him. I make it my business to ensure he knows who he must be, the things he must learn to make him a reasonable member of society. Past that, expecting him to like what you like, to work like you do, is beyond anything you should expect. The truth is, this is not just for autism. That said, his brain will not begin to function as yours does, or even all that closely. My son's brain is a unique thing. It's a wonderful thing. I enjoy it. I've said before, my son is weird, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He's a good kind of weird, but he's weird. Hey, look, let's face it, his dad is weird. I'm a bit of an oddball. I didn't go the beaten path that a lot of people choose. Instead of going to college, I went in the military, and when I left the military, though it took me far longer than it should have done to do so, I figured out how to become a software developer, and in these days I'm a senior software developer in my day job, and I do these videos because I really enjoy doing them. All of that said, the point is, my son is an oddball, and that's not something that's bound to change. Why? Because his brain doesn't work like other people's brains do. And the result is, if you expect that he's going to live by your rules largely, you're confused. Now, there are lots of ways where I have to make it my business to get him to understand you need to live by other people's rules. He'll get on a swing, and there's a swing next to the one that he likes to swing on. People will get on the other swing, and he'll bother them because he wants both of those swings. I don't even care if he could tell people that he wants both of them. He can't have them if somebody wants that other swing, and I've told him as much. And I work very hard to get him to act properly in those circumstances. But you need to know that in his mind, A, there's only one primary swing on that whole set of 6 swings, 2 of them baby swings to be fair. But there's only one swing, right? And that's all there is. And then there's a secondary swing that he can play with, and there's nothing else in that area in terms of swings most of the time for him. He will literally wait until the one swing that he wants to swing on, which for some reason is a quite popular swing. It's the one almost everybody chooses. But he will literally wait until that swing is not in use, even if he has to wait half an hour sometimes to do it. He'll sit 20 minutes, half an hour waiting for that one swing. His brain, his mind, his way of looking at the world is not the same as yours. In the course of time, he has been moved along to the point where certain things that he would not have accepted before, that he would not have allowed for before, are things that now he will accept and he will allow for. Okay? That's the reality of that fact. That's how it works. You need to understand, though, that those things are already concessions that he's making in his mind. He's already conceding to you, all right, I'll let you have this one. And that doesn't mean he likes it. That doesn't mean he wants to do it. It means he knows he has to do that. And he does that more for me than anybody else. And so I stretch the boundaries every day for him. Okay, we're going to go over to the place where you like to play on the swings. All right, now you have to remember, if somebody wants the swing next to you, you must let them have it. That's not something he wants to hear, and it's not something he wants to do, and as a result, he'll be obnoxious about it a lot of times if your kid gets on that swing. Am I saying you shouldn't let your kid get on that swing? Well, I would prefer that you didn't if the kid wasn't pretty stout, wasn't made of pretty strong stuff. Why? Because my kid is going to be prone to behave in ways that you're going to find inappropriate. And if your kid can conk him back, if he conks him or her back, if your kid can conk my kid back, if he conks him or her, well, okay, great. If your kid can live with the fact that he's going to harangue them and I'm going to have to periodically pull him off messing with him, okay, fine. But the little kid who was there yesterday was not that kid, really. He did okay for a little kid, actually. But the point I'm making here is people expect my kid to live by their kid's rules, and that's just not how that works. Here's the funny thing. Because he's had to deal with other kids who are autistic and have various other issues because he's in special needs classrooms in school, he's actually learned better how to deal with those people lots of the time than he's learned how to deal with, quote, normal people, right? He's learned how to deal with those people better. That's how that works. That having been said, the funny thing is it does not make him more tolerant of, quote, normal people. That's not how that works. He wants what he wants, and he believes that those people have every ability to give him what he wants, and they just have to do it. He's wrong, of course. He's mistaken, and a lot of times that's how life works, particularly when we're young. We think that people need to do for us what it is that we want them to do, when in reality they've got their agenda and we've got ours, and we need to work to live together and to learn and to do things in concert and agreement, right? In accord, as it were. The point of all of this, though, is the thing that I'm trying to get across is it's not that he's trying to live outside of society. It's that by nature he does. He lives outside of your reality. That's not to say that his reality is better than yours, but on this same token, it's not to say that his reality is worse than yours either. You just live in a different one than he lives in. He has this expectation or set of expectations. You have that, right? You have another. That doesn't mean you're wrong, and it doesn't per se mean he's wrong. Though more often than not, because he wants things that, where you have to do the standard adjustments that lots of kids have to do, that's mine. No, actually the ball belongs to that other kid, and if anything, they're letting you play with it. And that's if they let you play with it at all, right? Yeah, he still has to do a whole bunch of adjustments. And as he gets older, I hope he'll get better and better at that, and I believe it's probable that that's exactly what will happen. But the point of all of this is to say that the set of rules by which my son lives are not the set of rules by which you or your child or children do likewise. That's not how that works. So you need to get used to that fact. Now, again, does that mean that he just gets to do what he wants? No, that's not how that works. He still has to learn to live with other people. He still does, right? So don't think that what I'm trying to tell you is I'm just going to let him do whatever he wants to do. On the other hand, recognize that there's a certain amount of patience that comes with living with autistic people. And I get it. I said in a thing that I wrote to somebody very recently, people are living their lives, doing their things, and they don't want to have to deal with that. And all I can do is ask you nicely, could you please sort of realize, not that he should be able to do whatever he wants to do, but that there are reasons he's not acting as you would expect him to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. I hope you're having a good day. It is Friday, right? As I think what I said in my notes. The 28th of May of 2021. That means tomorrow will be Saturday, the 29th of May of 2021, which most Sabbath keepers count the Sabbath, Saturday. Hope you're having a good day today. Remember, this has been the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt. Thank you for watching, whether on Rumble, on the podcast, on YouTube, or wherever else you happen to be coming from. Remember that Rumble is my platform that I really like best, but again, you're going to watch where you're going to watch, and I understand that. Again, today's subject has been By Your Rules. Tomorrow we're going to talk about prison communication, and this was brought on by some things that some people said that I thought I really sort of set things straight, because where there are some others who probably can do a much better job of that even than I can, I think it's an important thing to talk about and to get people to understand. Hope you're having a good day today, as I've said. Hope everything is going well for you. Hope you're enjoying yourself as we move on into this weekend. We've started to cool down and maybe get a little bit rainy today in my little neck of the woods. It isn't horribly cool, but it's a nice reprieve from the beating sun that we were beginning to get yesterday. Again, hoping everything is going well for you, and hopefully we will see you again on tomorrow's Daily Summation. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video is recorded on Friday the 28th of May of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.